On August 30th, 2013, a 19-year-old college student vanished after a series of increasingly disturbing events. He made phone calls that didn't sound like him. He sat in his car for over 13 hours doing nothing, and after crashing his vehicle down a ravine, he walked away and was never seen again. This is the disappearance of Bryce Laspisa, one of the most baffling missing person cases in modern American history. Bryce Laspisa was born in 1994 and raised in Illinois. By all accounts, he was intelligent, artistic, and close with his parents, Karen and Michael Laspisa. In 2013, Bryce enrolled at Sierra College in Rocklin, California, studying graphic design. He had recently moved across the country, a major life change, but not an unusual one. However, shortly after starting college, those close to him noticed something was off. Friends later described Bryce as withdrawn. He had begun drinking heavily and experimenting with drugs. Most concerningly, he had recently given away many of his personal belongings, including his Xbox, behavior often considered a red flag in mental health assessments. On August 28th, Bryce's parents spoke with him by phone. He sounded emotional, but assured them he was fine. He told them he planned to drive home to Illinois. This drive should have taken roughly 31 hours, but Bryce never made it home. Bryce began driving south in the opposite direction of Illinois. At 1 a.m., he stopped at a gas station in Buttonwillow, California. Surveillance footage shows Bryce acting calm, even normal. Then, he didn't leave. For 13 hours, Bryce sat in his car in the parking lot. No one knows why. Concerned, his parents contacted roadside assistants, who went to check on him. Bryce told them he was tired and resting. He insisted he was okay. Later, California Highway Patrol officers arrived and conducted a sobriety check. Bryce passed. They found no drugs, no alcohol impairment, and no reason to detain him. They allowed him to leave. This decision would haunt the case forever. Instead of driving home, Bryce headed toward Castaic Lake, near Los Angeles. At approximately 2 a.m. on August 30th, Bryce's car was found wrecked at the bottom of a ravine after apparently being driven off a cliff at high speed. Investigators later determined the crash was intentional. Bryce was not wearing a seatbelt. The vehicle flipped multiple times. Yet somehow, Bryce survived. Blood was found in the car, but no body. Search teams immediately began combing the area, despite helicopters, dogs, hundreds of volunteers. No trace of Bryce was ever found. Even more disturbing, his phone, wallet, and laptop were found in the car. No footprints were discovered leading away. The terrain was harsh, dry, and open, not ideal for hiding. Authorities initially believed Bryce had survived and walked away, but walked where? This is the most widely accepted explanation. Bryce had shown emotional distress, substance abuse, withdrawal, giving away possessions. The crash may have been a suicide attempt, but something stopped him afterward. Some believe Bryce wandered into the wilderness, confused and injured, and succumbed to the elements. However, no remains have ever been found, which makes this theory difficult. A minority believe Bryce staged his disappearance, but without money, ID, transportation. This theory is considered unlikely by investigators. Karen and Michael Laspisa have never stopped searching. They've criticized law enforcement decisions, the lack of follow-up after the roadside welfare checks, missed warning signs. Their belief is simple. Bryce didn't just vanish. Something went wrong, and someone missed the chance to stop it. Bryce Laspisa's disappearance endures because it was documented. Authorities interacted with him multiple times. Intervention was possible, and yet he disappeared anyway. No body, no answers, no closure. If Bryce Laspisa is still alive today, he would be in his early 30s. Somewhere, someone may know what happened. And until that truth comes out, this case remains one of the most unsettling disappearances in modern history. Bryce Laspisa didn't disappear into legend. He disappeared into reality, a place where answers don't always come, and warning signs are sometimes seen too late. Somewhere between that quiet gas station, that long, unmoving stretch of road, and the edge of that ravine, Bryce was lost. Whether he walked away in confusion, vanished into the wilderness, or met a fate no one has yet uncovered, one truth remains. No one should be able to disappear like this. And yet, they do. If stories like this unsettle you, if you're drawn to the shadows where human behavior turns strange, where disappearances remain unexplained, and where the truth hides just out of reach, subscribe to Dark Obscura. Here we explore the world's most disturbing disappearances, unsettling behaviors, and mysteries that refuse to stay buried, because some stories don't end. They wait.